Kia ora whānau, this is Tangata Whenua. I'm actually running this stream, this video from my lounge. And it is the 15th of May, Tuesday the 15th of May 2017. So whānau, I've been getting a lot of responses, requests, questions, all to do with the police. It's really hard to actually sit down and nut the stuff out over Facebook, sending comments and posts backwards and forwards. I find it saves me a lot of time. It's a lot less hassle if I just make up a couple of just quick videos. So first and foremost, I want to start off with because the questions, everything's been directed about the police. So first and foremost, I would like to start off by just showing you. Now this is just a quick, simple Google image. Manukau Police Station energy audit. So this image is off the internet, is off Google, and this is an image of Counties Manukau Police Station. Now the thing that I want to point out, whānau, is that it's got a flagpole. One of those flags is the New Zealand flag, and then the other flag is actually the New Zealand Police flag. That corporation called New Zealand Police, it has a different flag to the New Zealand Corporation. Similar, looks like it's the same. It's blue and red and got stars. But the New Zealand Police flag is a different flag. It's a different jurisdiction to the New Zealand company. It's a private corporation. And they're two separate entities, whānau. They're not the same corporation. They're two different corporations. So, when all the little piggies are running around in that little pig pen, you know, they're allowed to go out and have a feed in the trough and go lie in the mud. They can go anywhere they want to in there because that's their little pig pen. And they can run around, all the little piggies can run around inside there. But if there's a hole in the fence, or there's a hole in the window, or one of those little piggies gets out, and then he comes out of their private land, out of their private jurisdiction, and comes out into the public sector, comes out into the public jurisdiction, well, if that little piggy doesn't have permission from his boss, from the Farmer Brown, to get outside the pig pen, Farmer Brown, his boss, Farmer Brown's going to run around and gather up all the little piggies and push them back into the pig pen, because that's where they're supposed to be. That's where all their mana is. But if Farmer Brown opens up the gate and lets them out, if he wants the pigs to come out of the private land into the public state sector, what he has to do is he has to issue a command. He has to type up some paperwork, get it authorized by his bosses, maybe walk across to the courthouse, get it stamped with the court seal, with the New Zealand coat of arms seal stamped on it, signed by a judge, and then issue some paperwork to one of his little piggies. And normally what happens when that happens is somebody will ring up 111, there will be a public record, somebody will ring 111 and say, please can you send out the police? And so there will be a record of it that will say, on this date, somebody rang up at this time, they requested police assistance, blah, blah, blah. And there will be a paper trail to validate all of this. And the little piggy can walk around out in public outside the police station with this piece of paper to validate that he's actually allowed to be out in the public. So that's just for that. Now what I want to do, whānau, is I actually want to have a look at a few things that the police must comply with. Now, whānau, I've chosen to use references directly. This reference here is directly from the New Zealand Police website. Okay? The New Zealand Police website. It is www.police.govt.nz. And so this is the structure. This tells us who sits at the top of the food chain within the Ministry of Police, within the private corporation called New Zealand Police. And right up the top, the Commissioner of Police, his name is Mike Bush. Mike Bush is the Commissioner of Police. Okay, whānau. So, again, it's not me saying this. This is coming directly from the New Zealand Police website. So, Mike Bush sits at the top of that food chain, and everything must go through him. And I mean everything, whānau. Everything. As long as it's official police business, if police officers are out in the public in their official police capacity, then they require an official police document, an official legal document validating that they're allowed to be out in out in public, that they're allowed to be outside of the pig pen. Okay, so that's from the police. So that's just to let you know who's the top dog, who's the boss at the police. His name's Mike Bush. Also, whānau, the police have a thing called the New Zealand Police Code of Conduct. And again, this was referenced the website where I got this from. This is the PDF. Whānau, I'm going to provide all these links in the comment section. But the PDF this is a PDF download format, and it was sourced from the police website directly. Okay, so this is their code of conduct. This tells us how they have to conduct themselves, the code that they must adhere to. Okay, introduction, we have high standards, we protect people, our information, our resources. We do right by others, we are responsible. What does misconduct and serious misconduct look like? Support. So this is the stuff. I didn't make up all of this stuff and say the police have to do this. Their boss, Mike Bush, the Commissioner of Police, or I don't know who did it, but the police made that stuff. So this is their shit. And the burden is on the police officers to know this shit, whānau. It's not actually our job to go out there in the public and teach them how to do their job. They're supposed to go to police training college, and they're supposed to bloody get trained up. As a matter of fact, I think the New Zealand Police in the budget last year, don't quote me on this, whānau, I'm not too sure, but they've got something like $20 million or $26 million to train all their new recruits. So it's not your job, it's not my job, it's not the public job to train these private police. The burden is on every single officer to know all of their stuff. Employees at Vodafone, it's Vodafone's job to train up all the Vodafone staff. Auckland University, it's Auckland University's job to train all of their staff. It's not actually my job to go out and teach the police about the policing regulations or the Policing Act. Okay, so again, whānau, if the police get let out of that bloody pig pen, if the little piggies get out of the pig pen and they're running around and they don't have the permission of Farmer Brown to be outside the pig pen, this is where this stuff comes into play, whānau. Policing Regulations 2008, evidence of identity and authority. So if they're not out in public with permission from their boss, because the police can't just walk away from their desk, whānau. They have to stay at the desk in case of an emergency, if their boss comes to look for them, comes down from upstairs and he comes down to the front desk and the police ain't there, they're going to get a fucking kick in the ass. He's going to say, where were you? Who said you could leave? You're supposed to be here. What if somebody come and looking for you? I don't actually know what they say, but there is a due process. There is a process and a procedure that police must abide by. Okay, whānau? One of them is called the Policing Regulations. And another tool that we can use, whānau, is called the Policing Act 2008. Now, this stuff doesn't actually bind me or you. This doesn't bind the public. Section 6 of the Policing Act 2008 states, this act binds the Crown. So the Policing Act is like a pair of handcuffs, and it doesn't bind Māori or Chinese or anyone else. It actually only binds the Crown. The Crown are bound to honour this legislative instrument. Okay, and this Policing Act here, if we scroll down to have a look at who administers this act is administered by the New Zealand Police. Again, whānau, I have chosen to take my resources. I'm not just willy-nilly quoting anything. I'm going straight to the New Zealand legislation website. There's a public record on here. It's available to everybody for free. All you have to do is just fucking type it in and Google, have a look at it and learn, it's not like it's a big secret. But a lot of the police officers, they actually don't know how to do their jobs. They actually don't know this stuff. As a matter of fact, last week, I had a bit of an altercation with police officers, and none of them had any paperwork, whānau. None of them were complying with the Policing Act or with the Policing Regulations or with the Police Code of Conduct. They were actually acting illegally. And I actually caught it on camera too, whānau. I actually video recorded them, that these fellas weren't complying with their rules. So Section 6, this act binds the Crown. Now, when I was talking to those police officers last week on the video, I was talking to them about Section 22. The police employee becomes constable by taking the constable's oath. Now, whānau, this is what it says. A police employee may become a constable only by taking the constable's oath. So just because he's got a bloody police uniform on doesn't make him a constable, whānau. Just because he's got an identification badge number, which can identify him from all the other 8,000 police officers, doesn't make him a constable. Just because he's driving around in a police car doesn't make him a constable. If you see people out in the public with police cars, police badges, uniforms, you ask them for their constable's oath of office, just so you can make sure that those people didn't steal the police uniform from the dry cleaners or from what, just to make sure that they're actually cops. Because whānau, these fellas actually have to do this stuff. Me and you don't have to abide by the Policing Act because we're not police. But the police officers, they most definitely have to abide by that. So they need a constable's oath. And in this oath, whānau, all this constable's oath really says, it's written on here, again I'll provide all the links and references, it just basically says, while a constable, I will to the best of my power keep the peace and prevent offences against the peace. Okay, he's not going to write up tickets, he's not going to bloody break the law, he's not going to arrest you without an arrest warrant, he's going to keep the peace. And he's going to prevent any offences against the peace. So if you're going to start contracting with police officers, whānau, you better know how to do it without extinguishing the peace. You can raise your voice, you can get loud, but you keep your hands to yourself, you act in peace at all times. And if you feel threatened that your peace is about to extinguish, pull out your bloody video, your phone, and start recording. Okay, whānau? So that's the Policing Act. Section 22, police employee becomes constable by taking a constable's oath. Now another interesting little tool in the Policing Act 2008 is Section 30, Command and Control. Now this discloses to us exactly who commands and who controls the police. And basically, Section 34A and B, it says that no police employee, when exercising any power or carrying out any function or duty, act under the direction, command or control, they're not allowed to listen to a minister of the Crown. Okay? So all of their instructions and all of their commands and all of their controls must come from the commissioner. Can't come from the minister of police because they're not allowed to listen to a minister of the Crown. It's got to come from the commissioner of police or whoever the commissioner puts in charge. So if the Land Transport Minister Simon Bridges tells the police to go out and do something, police are actually supposed to tell the minister, the Crown Minister, sorry, you don't command and control me. I take my orders from my boss. If you want me to do something, go see my boss. But what the police do quite often, is they break their own rules. They violate their own laws. They do not comply with Policing Act 2008, plain and simply because we don't hold them accountable. Okay, whānau? But once we start to learn this stuff and start looking at it and interpreting it and studying it and knowing exactly what these words mean, then we have the ability to exercise our constitutional rights. And because our tino rangatiratanga, or our sovereignty, our independence is recognised in international law, the Crown are forbidden from making any attempt against our independence. That's why that section is in there. This act binds the Crown. It stops them from making any attempt against our independence, whānau. We can walk around out in public without a bloody identification, without an ID, because there's nothing says we have to carry ID. But these fellas can't. These fellas play by a whole different set of rules. And the fucking thing is, whānau, they don't even play by those rules. So anyway, that's me. I've been online for 13 minutes now, taking up too much time. I just wanted to quickly run over that. If anybody has any questions, feel free to holler at me. Whānau, ask questions. If you're not sure, ask. Even just ask me just to make sure that I'm not talking shit. Make sure that I know what I'm talking about. Don't just sheepishly believe what I say, whānau. Do your due diligence. Go out and check my references, check my resources. Make sure that I'm not talking shit. And when you get the confidence, when you get the courage, maybe come and give me a call, and me and you will go spend the day walking around out in public asking police officers for the evidence of identity and their authority. And if they do not produce this evidence of identity or authority, it's a requirement of law, whānau. The police commissioner has given every single employee evidence of identity. It's got a photographic image of the employee. It's also got a unique identifier, an identification number that distinguishes him or her from every other police employee. The evidence of identity, it must state the family name, or it's got to have his name. So it's got to have his name, it's got to have his badge number, it's got to have his photo, it's got to have all of this stuff. And the only way you can know if that identification has all of that stuff is if you ask them to see it and they pull it out and show you. Now, last week I was asking this police officer, and I've got it on video, to show me his evidence of his identity, and he flashed it so fast he wouldn't let me see it finally. It's my belief, I don't have any evidence, but it's my belief that he wouldn't show me because he was fucking scared. He was fucking scared because he knew that the only people that ask, like, not everybody will go up to the cops and ask them for their ID. Only people that want to know what the police name is the ones who's going to write some paperwork to them or reprimand them or growl them or give them an award or something. But yeah, he wouldn't let me see his ID. He deliberately violated his own rules. And when they do that, whānau, for example, on this one here, the constable's oath, if they don't comply with section 22, if they don't protect the peace and prevent any offences against the peace, if they abandon their oath of office, whānau, then they are no longer police officers anymore. And if you can get it on record, if you can video it, CCTV, some way, somehow get witnesses and write up affidavits, if you have evidence of them acting outside their legal capacity, if you have evidence of them violating the constable's oath, because you can't just use your mouth, whānau, you actually have to have a paper trail. It all has to be documented or recorded. There's got to be a public record of them doing this shit. So, request the paperwork, whānau. When you see police out there and they're talking to you, ask them, have you got a paper to talk to me? Have you got evidence of identity? Could I please see your constable's oath? All of this sort of stuff. It's not breaking the law, whānau. You're not doing anything wrong. All you're doing is just making sure that the little piggies play by the little piggy rules. Kia ora, whānau.